Thank you, Metaverse, for sponsoring this show. Stay tuned to learn how my students are creating simple augmented reality experiences in Metaverse. 25 Days of Making, when educators make, create, and have fun. Episode 441.
The 10-Minute Teacher Podcast with Vicki Davis. Every weekday, you'll learn powerful, practical ways to be a more remarkable teacher today.
Today, we're talking with Aaron Maurer at Coffee Chug Books, dear friend from many years, Aaron now. I think we've known each other for quite a while. He was on episode 140 with 5 ways to amp up STEAM learning, and I'll link to that in the show notes. Aaron, you have just completed 25 days of making in December 2018. What on earth inspired you to do it, and how did you keep making and keep going?
Yeah, it's a funny story. Actually, I was driving home from one of my children's sporting events, and as you try to process all that you wish you were doing as opposed to driving in your car while your kids are asleep, I was like, I'm going to come up with a way to I'm going to share like my top projects to just continue to inspire hands-on learning and purposeful play, not just in makerspace, but in classrooms. Like, how do we start to rethink STEM and makerspace as not just this siloed space in a building, but a culture of learning across the landscape. And as I started to push that idea out, the more I started to realize, like, holy cow, Aaron, you can't do this by yourself. So I reached out to my favorite people that I consider my mentors and guides in terms of making myself better and asked if they'd be willing to contribute to a project. The overwhelming response of yes was so phenomenal. And this project has turned into something that's been tenfold greater, more powerful, just really invigorating to the work that we do with all the amount of outpouring and people doing the work and willing to share.
Okay, so in 25 days of making, all of these folks came up with things that you could make, and then you made them, or what?
The goal behind it was every single day, for kind of like an advent calendar, minus the religious tones, but really the idea every day there's going to be this new email in your inbox or on the website, and there's going to be this project that somebody has made, either as an educator or a professional maker in whatever the role might be. And the idea being that you have all these projects to kind of keep yourself going, especially in December, and especially as you move into January, where sometimes motivation is a little low. But more importantly is to create inspiration. So even as we move beyond the holidays, so how can we take these skills that we're learning and not just think about them for a holiday, but through the context of a whole school year? So the idea was to bombard you with this amazing resource of all these projects that people have done, and along the way, start to figure out classroom applications, the skill sets, the 4 C's, whatever it is that you have going on in your classroom, and how do you remix these ideas to re-enhance the learning culture within your learning spaces that you're operating in.
Okay, so are these, I guess, for lack of a better word, making recipes available for us to see even now that December 2018 has passed?
Yes. So actually, because of the amount of outpouring, we're actually doing 30 projects. And so at the time of this recording, we're doing 5 bonus projects because we had so many people that wanted to contribute. So there'll be a total of 30 projects. The website will always be up. And so you have contact. You can reach out to these people, ask them questions, and then just continue to work through these projects as needed. If nothing else, it's just a place of inspiration. And the amazing thing is the amount of people sharing project examples. And I think that's really the key about this. Is the amount of people that were willing to share. But even on top of that, the excitement of people who are actually pushing outside their comfort zones to share their own learning, both as educators and students. And so now we've kind of got this thing that I think education has been missing for so long, is building confidence and empowering people to say, hey, look what I'm doing, and realizing that that can really help other people.
What's the website? And I want to know some examples of some really cool stuff you've made.
Sure. The website, the easiest way is bit.do/25 days. And we can put that link in the show notes. I know you'll do that. And there is a page that has every single project, probably the ones that are, we've got everything from like ugly tech sweaters that actually use your phone to play Fire or play your favorite holiday music, like On Your Ugly Sweater. We've got cardboard Christmas trees. The ones that have really just taken a huge interest in, and I think because it's a good entry point projects, is we had one by Dory Friedman, who did this light up literature, used vellum paper and creating light up images and stuff using candlelights or 3D printing your bases. We've also done coding thank you cards, so using Scratch to create geometric symbols and then cutting that out on a vinyl cutter and creating greeting cards, all the way down to we've had the hummingbird, the bird brain robotic kit, and making a high five, Hermie the elf from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. There's just so many phenomenal ones, very low tech. You don't need a ton of money, and it's just been amazing what people are doing.
Okay, so what's next? Because December's done, but people want to keep making.
Yeah. Another thing called declutter learning is we think about learning space and we want to reinvigorate our learning spaces. How do we, the first step is to declutter. And so we're moving into the next phase, which is digital declutter. And then in a couple months, we're going to be doing the same kind of project around the 25 days of making, but it's going to be a show and tell. But the stimulation for this one is we only want students. We want students showcasing the work. So this one's been adults, but now we want students to kind of have this global show and tell project.
Okay, so when is the global show and tell kickoff?
The goal for that is going to be, we're going to start getting that momentum rolling in February, with the idea being of pushing like into March and April, working from there.
Cool. So people can tweet you if they want to join in. Is there a hashtag that folks are kind of convening around for all this?
Yeah, so everything is going to be on the hashtag, the 25 days of making, and we're just going to continue to use that same hashtag so everything kind of keeps it all one cohesive unit and flow.
Have you made a mistake with this project? Is there anything you're going to do differently next time?
Probably the biggest thing would be getting more time for me to actually go through and make all the projects. I think one of the things that has come through the things is people feel overwhelmed, like, oh my gosh, I want to do this. And then the next day there's another one. So I think if nothing else, not really a mistake, but just helping myself, others realize like they're always here. Just because we posted 25 in December doesn't mean they all have to be done in December, right? Like you can use these, just wipe out the holiday theme and make it whatever content theme you're doing, and bada bing, bada boom, we got to go. So I think it's more just mental rewiring of how we see this, like, oh my gosh, I can't do all this. Well, nobody can, there's called reality. So just realize that you just have this resource, and just having more time to figure out how to get more voices in. Cause I was overwhelmed by the amount of people that were willing to contribute.
So at the beginning, Aaron, you talked about hands-on learning and purposeful play. Could you give us a 30-second pep talk to inspire us to have a maker mindset?
Yes, I think we have to start to think about how do we take all the content, all the things that we need to do, and layer it with ways of engagement in our classroom. And we can do that. We don't need paper, pencil tests for everything. So we can do hands-on learning, and we can actually have play with constraints to achieve our standards and the learning that we need to do, but doing it in a way that kids feel empowered and engaged in the learning. So it's really not just trying to treat this as glorified recess, but a learning approach, a teaching style, and a culture of learning that allows everybody to be really excited and want to take it to the next level. So moving away from I have to teach this to the mindset of students going, I want to learn this.
Okay, it's hashtag 25 days of making. Now let's take a look and let's make and let's share. Metaverse is a powerful augmented reality app, and they have added many upgrades this past week. Check them out at coolcatteacher.com/metaverse. New features include a new classroom management tool called Collections that lets teachers view all their student experiences in one place. You can edit and view all the experiences students have made and share your student experiences as a group. Metaverse is free for teachers and students to create as many AR experiences as you like. Teachers can purchase the ability to create collections for a small $7 a month fee, but you can try out these new classroom management features inside Metaverse for free with promo code AR4EDU. Metaverse works for all ages to bring augmented reality into every classroom. I highly recommend it. Go to coolcatteacher.com/metaverse and use the code AR4EDU to upgrade to some of these cool new features.
Thank you for listening to the 10-Minute Teacher Podcast. You can download the show notes and see the archive at coolcatteacher.com/podcast. Never stop learning.